everybody, welcome back. Transforming, return to source, Lulu-Lee, video 6. 6. Time flies. All right. So today I want to talk about transformation through our current situation. Since video 1, I spoke about how we transform and how we change on a personal level, where something happens to us, some kind of an inconvenience or anything that pushes us into change and transforming. But there's also transformation that happens through circumstances of our environment, some things that we can't control, or it's not a personal choice, it's forced upon us by our environment. Perfect example, COVID. The way what we're going through right now. There are two ways that you can go through an environmental and a forced kind of outside transformation. One, you can choose growth and just kind of find a way to rise through the challenge and figure it out and kind of like reinvent yourself and do what you can do to the best of your ability to make something out of it. And other way is really just kind of ride it out and try to figure out a way to adapt to it, because you're happy with your life, you just want this thing to be done and over with so you can go back to your life and all is well. Either way, we are hoping to try to do the change from a peaceful place and not a stressful place, because we can do it either way. You can be stressed about it. I'm like, oh my God, things are happening. What am I doing? I have to do something. And you find yourself in a stressful situation. Or you can be in a place that says, okay, this is happening. How are we handling it? Rerouting and figuring things out, and let's make something out of it, and do it in peace. When you choose growth really from a transformation and you want to rise out of this challenge, it can happen in many different ways. I know a lot of people personally and in general that I heard or spoke to that said that Corona had been the best thing that ever happened to them, because they found a way to rise and to reinvent themselves, maybe in their job, find a new job or create a whole new career, just following a dream that they had that they never got to do. If it's within their health, that all of a sudden they have time to take care of their body. If it's working out or meal prep or whatever it may be. If it's in their relationship, for better or for worse. Some people realize that it's not for them, and some people find a way to communicate better because of the challenge. But there's a lot of ways to kind of reinvent and grow through a challenge. At the same time, like I said, there are those who are okay and they are good with their normality and they're good with their 9 to 5. They just want things to go back to normal, which unfortunately they never will. I hope we all know that by now. There's never going back, obviously. There's always just moving forward. So hopefully we can create a new normal, but back to normal is not going to happen anymore. But yeah, they're good in their normality. And one of the things that actually bothered me the most throughout this whole COVID thing is all these memes and posts that I kept seeing about, people saying, if through this you didn't reinvent yourself, I don't know what you're doing. And I'm like, but why? Not everybody has to find a way to reinvent themselves. Not everybody has an entrepreneurial mind, and people who keep wanting to create or do new things and like, yeah, let's do this. No, people are good where they are, and that's fine, and we don't need to let people feel worse about themselves as if they're less than somebody else or they're not good enough because they don't want to like create a whole new life all of a sudden because of this pandemic, But that was like, it frustrated me to see this, because everybody should be okay with what they're doing. We just need to figure out our life through this, one way or another. I know personally for me, I went through both. The first part of COVID, for the first about 5 months, I didn't know what the hell to do with myself. My job is outside. I'm constantly with people, physical, one-on-ones or groups. There's always kind of physical interaction. Events, there's no events, there's no production, there's no makeup to be done, there's no women's nights, nothing, none of that. So my business was basically done, killed. For 4.5 months I was sitting at home doing nothing, and that was the first part where I was like, okay, I'm just gonna write it out and see what happens and figure it out. I don't want to change my life. I'm okay with, I like my life, but after so long where things were not happening, I mean, I did here and there a little bit of stuff, but you can't really translate what I do into Zoom, you know, like my makeup courses or my women healing stuff. Like I can't, it's not something I didn't feel comfortable doing in Zoom. I couldn't figure out how to do it anyway. Two kids at home, you know, somebody else may manage to create a webinar and a live while their kids are out there in their room playing. I couldn't. I didn't know what the hell to do. So I just wrote it out. You know, I even told you guys that in the last video, I don't watch TV. I watch TV. I managed to watch a whole series on Netflix, 4 seasons in 4 months. I was so proud of myself. No. And then like after 4.5 months, I couldn't do it anymore because me personally, I am a person that rises through challenges, and I am a person that, you know, reinvents themselves and like to do new things and always like to kind of explore and figure things out and just do. And I was in a place that I was just being and writing, and now it's like, okay, I need to do something. Maybe I do need to reinvent myself. So I jumped into network marketing because it was something new and something I never done before, and I loved it. You know, I still do it here and there, and I enjoy it. But more than anything, it allowed me to kind of find myself again and return to my source again, which is my healing and my coaching. Those are the two things that I love the most, that I do all the time, but I never really talk about it. You know, everybody knows me as a makeup artist, but I'm so much more than that, and I do so much more than that. And I never really get to share those gifts with a lot of people. I mean, I do have inspirational beauty, which is why I love this business so much, because it's kind of like a mixture of everything. It's my artistry and my healing and my coaching together. But now in COVID, I found myself, you know, first of all, I was sending healing every single day, all over the world. People all over the world, I was sending healing, and I loved it. It filled me up so much. And then I was doing coaching over the phone, on Zoom, one-on-one, in groups. I was leading meditations. I was doing all the things I love to do. You know, this thing is like really return to source for me. This is in my DNA. My grandfather was a huge healer. You know, my mom was an amazing human who healed. And for me, it's something that I used to be afraid of, and then I got into it, and now I've been doing it for a while. You know, I mentored people, coached people, helped them change their lives, and again, it's like not talking about it, and it's like now forced to figure it out. So to me, I'm starting this whole new transformation and this whole new change in my life too, which was forced upon me, because before, you know, I was so consumed with my makeup work, I never really gave the space to, you know, to allow myself to do it the way I would have loved to do it. And doing, not being able to do makeup had put that at the top of my priority, especially when people was asking me and needing me to do it. So I got to like enjoy it and really do it. So I went from just writing it and adapting to figuring it out and reinventing myself. I don't know if it's reinventing or just really like returning to source. That's why I called it Transforming Return to Source, because we really do, by moving forward, going back into ourselves. But you know, either way, if you're a person that likes to rise to the challenge, or a person that just want to write it out, you know, I feel like sometimes when we are forced to transform or change is forced upon us, the least we can do is take a pause and take a minute and look within. You know, we find things about ourselves that we didn't really have the time to do so before. And maybe it will be something that will lead us for some kind of a future transformation. Who knows? But I hope you go through this crazy time, and still going through these crazy times in the best way possible, with well-being and peace in your heart. If I can help in any way, please, you know where to find me. Love is love, and I'll see you in the next video.